Assalamu alaikum, I'm Bhika and you're with us in the lab, empowering, inspiring and informing our viewers. The mind is the most powerful tool that humans own. It can be used to attain success and freedom, or it can take you to the depths of failure and pain. It is so important to ensure that empowering thoughts and positive emotions are dominating our minds. Easier said than done, but don't fret, help is always around. With us today in studio is Jayshree Padayatchey, a community economic development expert and an entrepreneurship mentor. Hi Jayshree, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Zakira.
It's such a pleasure having you once again with us in studio. We had such great reviews about the female abuse and your expert advice, and we decided to get you back in studio again today. Thank you so much.
I feel so honored. Thank you.
Lovely. So, Jayshree, why is it so important for us to realize the power of the mind?
Zakira, if you look back, you'll find that the most successful people tap into the power of the mind. I think if I just give an example, if you look at the best, most powerful sports people out there, 90% of the learning and growing that they use is on the mind. And like 10% is really on the actual physical activity.
Exactly.
So that alone tells you how powerful the mind is.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at what defines successful people from those that are just ordinary and mediocre, it's simply the power of them understanding that they can do anything they want to. There is no limitation. And all that talks to the power of your mind. It's what challenges you put out there for yourself and what you would then, the goals you would set and accomplish.
Okay, but that to accomplish that growth within your mind, can you do that on your own, or do you need some professional help to do that?
Well, it can work in both ways.
Okay.
There are some people that really just do it for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They are the kind of people that will go out there and find what makes you successful. They would follow successful people. They would read extensively to find out what makes people successful, because they obviously would want to then emulate that. All right. So you find, if you look at your top guys in top corporate, top government, you look at hugely successful entrepreneurs that are going beyond boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You would find that they do it a lot of times. They start the exploration. But what you find is 9 out of 10 of them have mentors or coaches that really take them through full circle.
Okay.
For many people, and I'm talking probably for about 90% of our population, it is not so. Because people do not know, and they don't always take the opportunity to inquire or to research. So for the ordinary person on the street, you need to motivate them. You need to get them to realize the potential that they have within themselves to drive their own empowerment. And it's so important for us to have platforms like this, because it is only when people are aware of opportunities like this, or that there is something that can help them, take them to the next level, then they start thinking about it and they start talking about it. And ultimately, because they're thinking about it and they're putting it out there, you'll find that opportunities and people come to them that can help them grow and scale themselves.
Okay, that sounds good. But now, Jayshree, the times we're living in, the environments, the communities we're living in an extremely negative world. How do you motivate people? How do you motivate women in this kind of negativity?
You are very right, Zakira. There is so much of discontent. There's so much of negativity. If you look at our previous session with women abuse, there is so much of pessimist people out there. They don't look at the optimistic side of life.
Absolutely.
They don't realize that there's so much of positivity out there.
Mm-hmm.
It is really just putting it out there and saying, if you think about it, simple example. When you are upset about something or you're angry at someone, you find that you feel that anger in you and that negativity. And you'll find that so many more negative things about that person will come to mind.
Absolutely.
Right? So what does that tell you? It tells you how powerful your thoughts
Your mind is, exactly.
So if we learn to shift it in the opposite direction, so yes, people are always going to do things to upset you or make you upset, angry, make you feel negative, make you feel like you're worthless. Do you know something? You never have the power over the way someone treats you or behaves towards you. What you do have the power to is how you react towards that.
Okay.
And for me, I find that very powerful, because if someone makes you upset, you know what, automatically on your own, just think some good things about the good things this person does for you.
Yes.
Think about all the awesome things they do. You know, if you think that, you will realize that your anger just abates a bit.
Yes.
You know, and it makes you just feel a bit more positive. So even though, yes, it wasn't a great experience, but you find that you choose the way you react.
Yes.
Now, if you start starting to do small things like that, it makes such a huge difference. It'll curb a lot of anger. You know, in anger, people do such bad things. When they're in a negative mindset, they do such things that, you know, and it is because of their emotions.
Yes.
That's how powerful it is. It is just addressing that in a different way, and only you have the control to do that.
Wow, that seems it's pretty simple things that you learn, and it can happen. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's pretty simple things.
Nadia Latif, registered physiotherapist, specializing in sports injuries, rehabilitation, orthopedics, musculoskeletal aches and pains, introducing shockwave therapy, also practicing hajama wet and dry cupping, advanced masters in life coaching as well as holistic health. House calls done in Lodium, Erasmia and surrounding areas, practicing at Bondi Park, corner of Vierda and Willem Botha Avenue.
Once again, I think I'm the pessimist, and I think it would take rather a lot of work to get there.
I think, you know, it's a personal journey.
Okay.
And yes, a lot of people are that way. You know, they feel pessimist. They don't always look at the positive.
Overwhelming, yes.
So it is so, and you know, unfortunately, it is times like this that makes people feel unhappy, that make them feel depressed, because it's all within themselves. You know, it's your fight within yourself, right?
Yes.
So only you have the power to bring out, and so think positive things. Put on some music that makes you feel good. You know, try and find what makes you feel good.
Yes.
And when you have cases like this where you're just feeling down, or you're feeling nothing is coming together and you're feeling negative, find what it is that really helps you feel good. Okay. You know, it's a journey, and it's your lessons that you put together. But it's very powerful, and it's very simple. Even though it's simple to speak and more difficult to practice, right? The journey starts with the first step.
Absolutely. Okay, Jayshree, how does this concept that you're talking about, how does our thoughts influence reality?
Our thoughts influence everything.
Okay.
Okay, because our thoughts have energy.
All right.
So you'll find that if someone is positive, you know, you'll find hugely successful people out there, and they're positive. They're always looking for opportunities to improve themselves. They always look at the positive side, and it doesn't necessarily mean that everything in their life is great or positive. It just means that they choose to think that way and to believe in that, and that is the power of it. Because if you contrast that to the opposite, and you think, okay, if someone thinks negative stuff, somehow you will attract it. It just works. So the worst thing you can say is, how does it get any worse than that? Because believe me, I have seen cases and I've experienced it. It will get worse than that.
Yes.
On the other hand, try this out. If something great happens and you say, how does it get any better than this? You will see how it gets any better than that.
Okay.
So it makes you realize something. Our thoughts are very powerful. Okay. If you look at your life the way it is right now, if you just take a moment to reflect where you are in your life right now, it is what you created. Everything you have in your life to now is what you've wanted, you've attracted, and you've created, and that's where you are right now. Nothing was done outside you. That is how powerful we are as beings.
Okay.
Right? We attract what it is we put out there. As we think, that is what the universe will bring to us. And that is a pretty powerful statement, because it just makes you realize you have the power to create your reality. And if you want something different, it is only within you to create that difference.
And to
no one else can do that. Now that is the power of thought, because you find that when people are successful, they have thought their life into success.
Yes.
Right? So you ask, okay, how can this be? You will realize that they have realized they want to do something great, something awesome. They've gone out there, they've thought about what they want. They've researched and they've done it.
Okay.
So it starts with a thought.
Exactly.
That is how powerful
so that's
it is.
how the mind works.
Yes.
There's a term that I heard from you, knowing what the why is. How important is knowing what your why is?
It is very important. It is probably one of the most important things that you as an individual will need to know. You know, I think we are coming to a space where people question a lot of things, right? One of the most important things we need to question is, why am I where I am at this point in time?
Okay.
Be it in terms of career, be it in terms of your personal life, be it in terms of things you've accomplished or things you've failed.
Finances. Yes.
Every single thing.
Okay.
You know, what is it? Why am I here? So it is really, when you're speaking about what is your why, it is a reflection to go back and start tracking, you know, why am I in this situation?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a simple thing. It's like, what is your story? You know, everything you do in your life is a result of something, some starting point, right? And we do not even realize that. We don't even think about the importance of why we are at a specific space. Okay, we all have a story to tell.
Yes.
And if we go back and we realize, or we think about and identify why is it that we are doing this,
mm-hmm.
it actually it helps us learn about ourselves as people.
Uh-huh.
You know, first and foremost, before we are businesswomen or businessmen, before we are family, we keep families together, we mums and dads, before we are in a specific career, before everything else, we are people.
Yes.
Right? And it is the person in us, it is the I in us
mm-hmm.
that actually stimulates and creates everything around us.
Okay.
And sometimes we have a powerful reason why we choose a specific career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why we do the things we do.
All right.
The type of behavior patterns we
mm-hmm.
have. It is so important to know that.
Nadia Latif, registered physiotherapist, specializing in sports injuries, rehabilitation, orthopedics, musculoskeletal aches and pains, introducing shock wave therapy, also practicing hajama wet and dry cupping, advanced masters in life coaching as well as holistic health. House calls done in Lodium, Erasmia and surrounding areas, practicing at Bondi Park, corner of Viera and Willem Botha Avenue.
So Jayshree, we need to end. Just for the viewers, Jayshree has been nominated as the Woman of the Year in Community Work 2018, and I'm going to put her in a bit of a spot right now. Jayshree, what can you offer us, being Woman of the Year 2018? What can you offer us? You've given us a world and wealth of information right now. What can you offer our viewers or the females out there? How can you help them as a community worker?
Wow. Okay. As part of what I do give back because I think it's very important. So I work in communities on a voluntary basis, and I do empowerment workshops. I do mobilizing assets for community-driven development, and sometimes I find there's a need in a community, and I go through and I do it on a voluntary basis. So you really got me there.
Okay, I'm loving this. I'm loving exactly where this is steering. Go on.
So I would be quite glad to do a women empowerment workshop where I could start getting women to start thinking beyond where they are right now and start crafting a way forward, you know, starting to create a reality that could create a better way forward for them.
Okay.
Or to start something that's really within them. So I'm quite keen. Yes, I will definitely do that.
Okay, definitely. Wow, that's awesome. So we're going to take Jayshree up on this. We're going to do a female empowerment workshop from Jayshree, who's, as I said before, is a community economic development expert and an entrepreneurship mentor and a female empowerment coach. So she's going to be doing this workshop with us, and we're going to be looking for, I would say, 20 ladies, our first 20 ladies that get in touch with us on our Instagram, Facebook page, and on WhatsApp. And there you're going to have it, a fully sponsored, can I say fully sponsored?
Yes, you can.
Okay, perfect. A fully sponsored empowerment workshop for any female feeling that they need to get somewhere in their lives. And I think that's excellent. Jayshree, your final words.
I'm so glad through this, on the spur of the moment opportunity to work close to home. I work extensively outside my community. And within myself, I always thought I need to start doing something closer to home. I've just never had the opportunity, and you've just presented it.
Okay, thank you.
So I look forward to doing that.
Thank you so much. And I think on behalf of the women that are going to be joining you and getting empowerment and upliftment from you, I'm really, really grateful. I'm thankful that you came onto the show, and I'm really impressed with all the work that you're doing. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much.
Well then, it's a wrap. I end today's episode with a deep quote. The body achieves what the mind believes. Catch us next week on Lodium Today for another great episode.
You can watch our episodes on YouTube and subscribe to our profile. Also, stay in touch on Facebook, WhatsApp, and Instagram, and we'll keep you up to speed with topics coming up next week. Don't miss an episode.